Wanuxi, you're the best.
Wanuxi.
Hi, I am Hasnul Hadi Samsudin. I'm the Vice President of Digital Creative Content Division in the Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, or MDEC. This year will be the fifth year. Level Up KL will be the fifth year of Level Up KL. We've started in 2014. There's a great reason why. When we keep doing Level Up KL, one of the things that always popped into our mind is because we actually have a exhibition section where we have the best games from around the region, including Malaysian games, and you have all these game developers showcasing their games and people playing their games. But one of the things that game developers want is people to play their game. So one of the things that they actually ask for, can we have some way to celebrate the whole culture of playing games and the gaming culture. So that's why we decided as an industry to look at how we can actually extend Level Up KL into what we call Level Up Play, and the public part of this conference. I would say this year will be my fifth year in MDEC, but I've been with MDEC for a long time. Actually, I started in MDEC back in 1996, and I left in 2010 to join the industry for a while in a company that did visual effects called Rhythm and Hues. Most recently, in the 2014 is when I rejoined MDEC, and my focus within MDEC at that time, my mandate is to ensure that we can grow the games industry, because that's where the company actually looked at how we can, the country and the company wanted to actually concentrate on games. When we started out, the creative, we call it creative multimedia at the time, is that we looked at mainly around animation. So back in 2006, MDEC started pushing the animation space. I think if you can remember, in those days, in 2009, we launched an animation called Saladin. So you've seen a lot of successes around Upin and Ipin and Bobo Boy. And so in this case, we decided that there's also this opportunity around games. So although I was already working with some of the companies back in the late 1990s, like Game Brains and all, but it was still very nascent, very small. You see companies like, I think they were ahead of the time, Phoenix Game Studios doing MMORPG called Feng Wan Online, Storm and Cloud. So we didn't see, we saw these guys creating such great games but having no real market for it. So when I returned back in 2014, very much I look at how we can focus in making sure that, number one, the talent pool is available. We have companies and the ecosystem ready, and most importantly is that we are out there marketing both the products and also Malaysia. And I think that's very critical and important, because now people see within this region that Malaysia has a very strong government support for the games industry, and we're very happy to see how that has developed. From what MDEC has been doing at the secondary school level, we have Level Up at School. So this is where we actually teach children how to do game development in school, and then later on become part of a competition that we actually showcase the best 10 games at My Digital Maker. In the universities themselves, we have actually a program called Level Up Apprenticeship, where we actually take the final year projects and actually help give them an idea of how to become game development companies. They might not at the end of the day become the startup, or they can actually, but more importantly is just for them to understand how it is to become an entrepreneur. Once they become entrepreneurs and have startup, we have funding programs like the DICE, which is it's almost similar to the DICE policy, but we call it Digital Creative Content Competition. And in this competition, which is still open right now, we are looking for idea creators for them to pitch their idea, and then where we actually give them funds to create the next prototype for a new game, which they can after that see a publisher. We also create an infrastructure called Level Up Inc., which is the Level Up Incubator, and we have startup companies there. I think right now we have about 10 companies from various age groups, experiences, which include people like Metronomic also there. And this is where we actually house sort of what we think the best breed of game developers together. And this allows us to actually monitor them, help them, and then after that mentor them and bring them into the... And periodically, which is our marketing part of it, we bring our companies out for market access opportunities in like places like GDC, Game Developers Conference, places like E3, Tokyo Game Show, Taipei Game Show, and most recently in China Joy. This is one of the gaps that we see in the ecosystem, and I think our role right now and what we're trying to do is to ensure that we can talk to the right people within sort of these industries right now, foreign industries, to see how they can use Malaysia as a place that they can actually jump into Southeast Asia. So that's why we're very happy to see the likes of 505 Games, right, as a publisher, trying to see if they can actually use Malaysia as a Southeast Asian sort of base for them to get into the areas like Indonesia, Philippines, and Thailand. More and more, we see successes of this happen. I would think that people would want to come into Malaysia and set up their publishing. It's a very important point. I think that's something that we think that we have to work very hard to actually create in Malaysia. A lot of what we want to do, focus, is to actually highlight our local game developers and their games so that people can experience that, because it's a celebration. But also at the same time, we've been speaking to some of the big publishers to actually pull games into. We're also looking into sections where we invite influencers, and I think that's a big pool now of influencers who are doing a lot of game videos right now. And I think that's important for also the public to understand that this is also an opportunity for them to actually grow in terms of talent, in terms of creating production. Last but not least will be the esports side of it, because right now that we're trying to showcase sort of our esport athletes and also those that are going to SEA Games. So hopefully that will also be part of the Level Up play. But this is the first time we're doing it. We're gonna, it's not gonna be the best. We hope it's the best. But I think with all of us working together, I think this will be something that we will all be proud of.
想要即时获取免费游戏的消息，只要在专业的 following 里选择 CFIRST， 并订阅我们的 YouTube 频道，打开铃铛，你就不会错过任何最新资讯啦。